Hey everyone, and welcome to the first in my well game or healthy game tutorials for The Sims 3. I mentioned this a while ago and it's taken me a bit to get to it. I'm gonna do them in short episodes because I get a little weird if I try to explain too much. So basically, what we're gonna start with is the most basic thing that you can do to make sure that your game is healthy, which is to save properly. Now, this is something that it took me a long time to learn, and I wasn't aware of it. But it's a good way to prevent error 12s, and it's just a good practice in general, because if your game crashes, you're less likely to end up with an issue from a bad save, and have to recover from a backup file, which usually aren't really your backup files aren't saved as often, so sometimes it'll roll you back quite a bit of progress, and that can also be really disheartening. So, here we go. As you can see, today, when I've been recording, it's the 23rd of December. Happy almost holidays. Happy almost Christmas to those of you who celebrate Christmas. Otherwise, happy whatever holiday you celebrate, or don't celebrate. If you don't, then I just, big hugs to you anyway. So this says Cohen, which is the family for my four mortal sisters, and I recently had to replace the save files because my old save files got a little weird and I moved them to a new town, in case you're not aware of that. But it says 3:19 a.m. So what you'll see is multiple saves of the exact same game. So here we have this one 3:18 a.m., 3:15 a.m., and then this is from 2:46 because it's an older one. But essentially what I do is I have saves that I cycle through for each game. That, basically, you're at a risk for error 12s when you have your game, when you save too much on the same file, or if you save and quit, or any of those things, and we'll address that in a second. Error 12 is essentially when your computer isn't able to utilize the memory that's set aside for The Sims 3, which is usually 4 gigs if you have at least that much RAM, otherwise it's less. But essentially what happens is that there's what's called a memory dump, and really the only important thing to know is that if you get an error 12, you're going to want to look for Krinrick's blog, or look on Mod the Sims, or Sims Wikia. There are a lot of great details. I can actually go over error 12s another time, but this is a way to prevent them. So what you do is, like it says here, FIS refresh 3. I usually have 4 files for each game. So, and I'll usually save at least 3 at the end of playing. Never put spaces in your save files. Don't, if you have a title for your save, don't put spaces, and try not to make the titles too long. So this one, as you see, FIS refresh 3, refresh 2, refresh 1, and then refresh, which is just the basic. It's really important that you cycle through. Always save as. Never just hit save. Always save as. And I'm going to write this out in the description. But really, the most important things to remember is always save as. Don't ever put spaces in the title. And cycle your saves over at least a few different ones. Now, over time, you can delete them, and you can always just keep making new ones. But you never want to save over the same file in a row, essentially. So that's why you don't hit the save thing. And you also never want to save and quit, because that also puts you at risk for error 12s. Always save as, and then quit the game separately after it's saved. Sometimes when you have this many save files, and if you save in close succession, it'll take a long time for the save to complete. As long as your game has not crashed, let it keep going. Sometimes it just takes a while. And I'll actually show you to illustrate. These are FIS new. These are the ones I actually have to, I'll delete them right now while I'm thinking about it. So that's the refresh one. We keep that. So FIS new. Let's get rid of those. FIS new. Okay. Yep, get rid of those. Gone. And gone. Those are gone. Okay, so this just leaves with that. And then, as you can see, I have, this is my Roaring Heights, RHLP, 1, That's 3 files right there, and this is 4. And I cycle through them constantly. This is my Monte Vista save. Here's an older Roaring Heights in case. Sometimes I'll keep an older one for a reference point. Symbiote cast. This was for my toddler cast. This is for my Alpine cast. This is for the fan service minis. So you can sort of see a theme here. And I have a lot of saves. Here's the Amazon LP. Yeah, so many. Mega Asylum. What else is there? Mega Asylum, Mother Russia. You can see I actually was going to do a Mother Russia review. I still want to do one, in case you're all interested. I don't know. This is one of the very first games that I had after I got Seasons. I hadn't played for a long time. So when I came back, this is one of the first games I had, and I was just checking on it the other day. Here's an old Mega Asylum save that's got to go. Here's Midnight Hollow, obviously. As you see, it goes back further and further. There's Brothel. Here's a really old Monte Vista. Here is Runaway Teen. You can see it's been a while since I've done it. I'm aware. We will be doing some Runaway Teen soon. And then, yeah, here's some old Four Mortal Sisters, One with Nature, Builder's Island, Dragon Valley. I keep a lot of my old ones. Here's Aurora Skies. If you don't remember Aurora Skies, yes, here is Aurora Skies. So, yeah, I have quite a number. Delhi is another family I had a long time ago. This is my original baby challenge from my blog, and as you can see, I haven't appropriated the right title to it, so that might have some issues when it's loaded. And here's the Glass family as well. So that's essentially it. Like I said, I'm going to put those in, but the big things to remember. This is bad here where it has a space. Big things. Don't put spaces in your titles. Don't make them too long. And let's keep going back. Yes, let's go through this again once I stop this. Hang on. See, and I have so much trouble explaining stuff. Okay. Don't put spaces in your titles. Always save as and quit. And also cycle your saves. It's really very simple. It's a very minor thing that you can do to make sure that you don't run into any issues. Beyond that, I'm going to be next talking about your cache files and which ones you should be clearing out and which ones you shouldn't. And there's a handy tool which you can use for that. So I'm hoping to get that up pretty soon as well. And hopefully this hasn't been even more confusing, but like I said, I'll write it out in the description. It's a helpful practice to have, and I've had issues with error 12, so this is a great way to avoid them. Okay, so that's going to be it for this time. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. As always, I always appreciate a rating, like or dislike, whatever. And if you don't mind giving it a share on like Google Plus or Twitter, any of those things, I always love it. If not, that's totally cool too. I just love having you around. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!